we go like Cosmoing, Liz, Spooty, then Slam drafts 2, and then we wrap back around until everyone's got 5.
Sure.
I like snake draft. That's my favorite.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So I guess Cosmoing, what's your first game?
Of the games I want to play in Spicy,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to pick Bushido Ball.
All right.
Liz, what would you like to draft?
Let's go with Alphazars.
Okay.
Spooty.
Well, I guess, let's just pick the obvious one, Warp Tank.
And Slam, you can draft 2.
Surprising everybody here, I'm sure. Vanger. And Mooncat.
Yay. And then back around to Spooty.
Let's go with Magic Garden.
Liz.
Let's go with Campanelle 3.
And back to Cosmoing, you can draft twice.
And I pick 2. I'll go Pin Golf. Ooh. This is dubious.
Dubious spicy.
I love the word dubious.
It's good.
It's a 50-50. Yeah, let's go with Star Wars Beer.
All right, Liz.
Divers.
Spooty.
Bug Hunter.
And then Slam, you can do another 2.
Party House.
I would like to mention that, like, me and Slam are picking way more games.
Yeah, is that how this works?
No, you're both picking the same number of games.
No, it's like 2, then 2, then 2, then 2.
Yeah, you.
It's 1, then
Right,
2, then
it's
2,
just-
then 2, then 2, then
It's
2.
that you're at
Yeah,
the
I'll-
front and the back of the draft, so it's swinging back around.
Yeah.
We each have 3
Well-
games drafted right now,
Yeah.
and Slam's starting to loop back up around on the 4th.
Yep.
Then the last one will be a pass of 1 each.
Let's go. Big Bell Race.
All right,
Spicy Big
Spooty.
Bell. Oh boy.
I believe.
See, we're out of the games that I know, like, I can crush everyone in.
Well, that ended real fast for everyone else, man.
A Tactics.
All right,
After
Liz.
my own heart.
Camouflage.
All right, and then Cosmoing, you'll draft your final 2 now.
One of them is going to be Velgris. What could the other one be? Oh, screw it. Demolition.
Fun.
Okay, and then Liz, what's your final pick?
Thought it was Spooty next. But Seaside.
And Spooty, what's your final pick?
I realized what I need to pick for this one. Combatants.
Yes.
Yo, let's go.
I was 100% expecting you to say Quibble Race at that point.
And
the crossroads of
Slam,
fate.
Yeah, all
one
2
final game for
spicy goals.
Slam.
Red Heist.
Spicy Quibble Race.
All right.
Are there any, like, 2 spicy equivalents?
There are
Yeah.
2 Quibble Race spices, yes.
Yeah.
That is the list of games I have for everybody.
Well done, thank you.
Okay, and then just
Yeah, that's
confirming.
what I've expected from everyone.
Yeah. Just confirming on the board and on team for Cosmoing and Uncle Slam. We have Bushido Ball, Devilition, Mooncat, Party House, Pin Golf, Rail Heist, Star Wasper, Big Bell Race, Vanger, and Velgress.
Looks right to me.
Okay. And then Liz and Spooty, we have a Tactics, Bug Hunter, Camouflage, Camp 3, Combatants, Divers, Alphazar's Hat, Magic Garden, Warp Tank. What's not on here?
Seaside.
Seaside, thank you.
It took me a second to realize you were going in alphabetical order.
Oh, yeah, I was tired of hopping around on the other one, but then it threw me off because it's the Big Bell Race. Is that everyone? 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool. Alright, let's go ahead and make the board, and then I will share it in the chat, and we should be good to go. Liz, do you need a reminder on the special spicy rules in addition to the regular bingo stuff?
It's like Bushido Ball, you can't change the rules.
Yeah,
I don't remember
it's basically
But
it's basically
Yeah,
just
let me-
default rules and no cheese.
Yeah, I think if what I'm remembering of the games we have, there's Bushido Ball is default rules. Let's see.
We also
Bug
have
Hunter, there's a couple
you can't
restrictions.
use
Yeah,
certain things in
Bug Hunter, you're not allowed to use Bombard and Power Up, I believe.
And in Avianos, you're not allowed
and
to
the
use any miracle more than once.
I think
Oh,
Yeah.
once in a turn, in one turn.
In a turn.
but Avianos isn't in here, so.
yeah, I think. It's
Yeah, I'm just
Bug
looking for
Hunter.
games that I know are
All
that are
yours
in.
is banned,
I
can
think it's
fish.
literally just Bug Hunter.
July and Edgar and Hotfoot.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
else just isn't here. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's literally just don't mess with the rules in Bushido Ball unless the goal specifically tells you to.
Cool.
And then dodge a couple things in Bug Hunter.
And
Alright.
and no Bombard Power Up in Bug Hunter.
Well, you know me, I was
Or
looking
Up is also still
Step
banned.
over Spooty and Bug Hunter.
Yeah, I assume you don't need to know that because you're probably leaving any Bug Hunter to me. But
Isn't the Y-Danger exploit also banned, or is that not banned for some reason?
I
Uh,
don't
It's
think
only
that's
for
right.
certain goals.
Well, yeah, for
And-
one
and-
goal you have to beat Live Ager with I think 4 modules, but you can't use the exploit. But if you have all 4 modules, then you don't even need it.
Yeah, just
Yeah. So if there is another restriction, it'll say in the goal itself. What we went over as Bug Hunter and Bushido Ball are the only it's not going to be in a goal. It's just going to be there.
I just
Remember
realized I
90
did this.
seconds?
I just did this with 2 players. Is that gonna work for this? If you both pick blue and
presumably,
red?
yeah.
Okay.
Someone. Oh god.
Here, I'm gonna run to the bathroom while we get the cards set up.
Okay.
Okay,
For display settings, if you do want the 4-player highlight, one of us can keep I can keep the highlights up for 4 players.
Okay. That would be cool if you can do that. Will that show on my screen if you do that?
Yeah.
It
that was
should.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh,
Cool.
what
The
colour
biggest-
is that's important actually.
So we learned as of going live in the Frost Fatale submission, the GDQ only has red and blue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It will probably get things different on the actual.
Okay. Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounded like
I
a
mean-
very last minute surprise for everyone. Honestly.
Yeah.
Also for submissions, they can see other colors. They can see our submission.
Yeah.
They're not going to care what color we have, just
Yeah.
that they're represented.
So I don't mind whatever color y'all want to be. I'll just change the layout to match.
But guys, red and blue matches the bingo logo.
It also matches the 2 armies in a tactics, the 2 armies in Disconia, enemies and allies in paint chase. Actually, there's a lot. There's a lot of red and blue in this.
Why is there so much red and blue?
It's almost like they're Rooster Teeth fans or something.
True.
What is the
Now I'm
Mario
sad.
Partyist color?
The Mario Party
Party
is.
cool. By the way,
Blue or red, honestly.
yeah.
Probably red, yeah.
Cheats time.
Shout out to Chance Time, ruining the game for everyone involved.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that 3 or 4?
It is important, by the way, to anyone who is watching this VOD back. All of this will be done beforehand, obviously.
Yes.
So,
It will all be done before.
Yeah.
yeah, this is just, to show you how the sausage is made.
It's also to show you that we're all friends and we're a lovely community, and we would like you to invite us to GDQ Ulu.
True.
That's bonus points for a new woo.
It's probably not the last Uwu of the submissions.
What is the perfect amount of Uwus in a submission video to maximize our odds of getting accepted? Like there's gotta be there's a sweet spot where it's like too many Uwus and they're gonna start to say no.
Well, especially if you don't balance it out with the Owos, forget about
It
it.
depends on one of the people who is watching the VOD back, because I know some of them would like it, and some of them are like, we gotta cut this. They said.
Just one Uwu and you're out.
I just want to hedge my bets and say, Brianato, you're a lovely man. Amerlin, I love what you've done with your hair. Swoos, you're a bamf. My mind is blanking on everyone else on the committee, but you're also awesome.
I have an ooh version of my avatar. I could switch to that. Just to up the ooh proportions.
I've been a fan of PDQ for 13 years and I've never attended, but I'd like to. Greetings from Germany.
Alright,
Man, Ohio sure has changed over the years.
Yeah, we're just Germany now. Ohio's Germany now.
It is an improvement. Sorry.
Yes.
Listen, I'm a Michigander. I have to approve by law.
Ohio has the most amount of astronauts that have been into space. What in Ohio makes people want to leave Earth?
Okay, so it sounded like color-wise, Cosmoing and Slam were going to be red,
Okay.
I'm good
and
with
then
whatever.
We can be blue, I guess, to make it fit.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. I usually pick teal personally, but
Let's pick teal. I like teal.
yeah.
Fellow teal enjoyer, hell yeah.
Teal is my favorite color.
Nice.
I was actually planning on being teal, and then I think my very first match was against Spooty, and I don't pick teal, and so I'm not Navy forever.
You've been Navy ever since. Oh, well, we don't have anyone else who prefers Navy in A tier, so.
I'm gonna choose Navy just to force Cosmoing back into teal during our match.
one more thing, are we doing a 90-second review?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
just about to mention. 90 seconds to look over the board. Bingos do not end the game. This will automatically go to majority no matter what, so feel free to sit in goals and chill.
We're going to majority?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were doing majority or we were going for a full blackout.
If it works out to be we're really early, then we can probably go to blackout, but
yeah,
majority is at least
we can discuss it in the chat if we need to keep going
We do
from
have
there.
to
but-
submit this in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Might be best if we just do majority.
Yeah. Please
Yeah.
don't take 4 hours on this match.
Well,
You know
the
what,
pre the pregame stuff
It
has
was
only
a
been 19
tragedy.
minutes, so I think
What
we're
goal
good so
in
far.
this set do we think would actually take that long?
I mean, me and Spooty have done spicy blackout. It's taken 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we end up
Yeah.
deciding in
If
chat
this
to go to
goes
blackout,
4
I'm totally
hours,
fine.
something
with
has
it.
gone desperately
Yeah.
We're gonna add the
Yeah.
spicy goal, pay the hammerman to break down the door in Barbuda, or the wall in Barbuda, 10 times in a row. Go.
Is everyone in the
That's
room?
Oslo.
I could do that. It just
No, going for that goal is a trap because you will miscount, you'll pre-mark it, and then your opponent gets it.
just leave someone in Barbuda just so that they can leave the game when you mismark it.
now that's bingo strategy.
Is everyone in the room yet? I linked it in the submission room, or the submission prep channel.
Oh, I'm hopping in.
Oh,
there.
that's where he put it. Okay.
Okay, I was waiting for it in the VC chat.
That probably would have been better. Sorry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I tried to
you
tag
put it
everyone
there,
in the
okay.
GDQ submission.
Yeah, my bad.
No, it's fine. I should have just done it in the main chat.
I'm so excited to not play Porgy for 45 minutes.
I was so tempted to choose Porgy.
If I was in this game, I'd be drafting Porgy.
I was waiting
Everyone
for
just
you to
drafts
say it,
Porgy so I can play Porgy. No.
I mean, I can take up the torch, but you owe me.
Torches don't work in water.
I've seen SpongeBob. That's not true. At least until you print it up.
And then it just suddenly goes out.
Like Coyote time, but for torches.
Yeah! The coyote frames on torches.
Alright, I think we're good. Players, unless you have anything else to say, good luck, have fun. Feel free to mute everyone but your teammates so y'all can actually talk. And good luck.
Yep. Good
Alright,
luck.
good
Best
luck.
of luck.
Don't forget your obligatory, it's just you and me.
Yep. And let me link this in Bingo Sync just in case.
It's just you and me.
It's just you and
I
me.
miss the players
Alright.
already.
He's muted.
Oh, yeah, we should probably
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
I have to mute the
Yeah.
players.
What is this?
I just keep hearing all the echoes of it's just you and me, and it's really funny.
Just everyone saying it's just you and
Actually,
me.
no, it's not even helpful.
Yeah,
because
it's
One of the players is just going to be like, wow, thank God, I don't have to hear ScouSin anymore, jeez.
Okay, we got 2 readies, 3 readies.
Are you readies?
Just waiting on Spooty.
Spooty, the most speed runner of our 4
All
players,
right,
took the longest ready.
Let me go ahead and start the timer here. 3.
Don't forget to make it 90.
Yes, thank you. All right. So I guess welcome to our submission. As we can see, a bunch of goals have been randomized across the 20 or so games that our players drafted. Some of these goals are very hard and very time consuming. For the Frost Fatale submission, we were able to go over the individual squares, but I think that's probably better if we just do that once players are in the game for this one.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
So if y'all want to introduce yourselves, because I feel like I've been talking a lot this time.
Hi, I'm ScouSin. I am part of the UFO 50 community.
Hi, I'm Karma. Same.
Hi, I'm Mora, and you guessed it, I'm also part of the UFO community.
No, actually, so Karma, I do want to point out Karma here, one of our most prolific casters, CEO, who has been the driving force of getting this all together. Mora, who joined the community just last year and has revamped how we view bingo across the community, and I play the games a lot and have completed so many personal challenges. So just 4 interesting things about all of us.
Thanks, guys.
I'll
So
get the game titles, by the way,
thank
when
you.
that thing happens, just so we can see how it's organized.
So fun thing about UFO 50 Bingo specifically is we will have some pretty fancy tracking tools available, at least on UFO50.bingo. Obviously, if we use Bingo Sync, it'll be a little more straightforward. But right away, we have 4 completely different games. So I guess if we want to just start in the top and work our way down. Anyone want to explain Valgress and what we're doing here?
Yes, Valgress, you have to go to the top of the stage in order to proceed to the next stage. There are 3 stages in a normal completion. In a cherry completion, which is a 100% completion, there's a 4th stage that you need to access by defeating a bird in each of the 3 stages and taking their key. So for this goal, we have Valgress, goalless without being stunned by any enemies or traps. In Valgress, the only way to actually lose a run is to get killed by that roller at the bottom. Every other enemy and hazard only stuns you when they hit you, and it's actually not that bad to recover. However, in this spicy goal, even a normal hit from one enemy means death. We just need the gold disc, so we just need to complete 3 stages, and we are going to ignore those birds. So hopefully Cosmoing can just get a hitless run, and that will get the square.
Cool. And then while Cosmoing is working on that, we also have Vanger. Karma, you're probably our resident Vanger head here. You want to explain this one?
Vanger is like a Metroidvania, but with the power of flip. It's like if we had Metal Storm meets Metroid. There's a bunch of collectibles to get that power us up, but the big gimmick about this game is that we can flip our gravity here. So the thing we're going to be doing here in Vanger, we're going to both be collecting 4 modules and then defeating a specific boss. The gold text here says no exploit allowed because the boss that we're going to, if you flip to the ceiling upon entering the room, the boss kind of just doesn't fight back. And we're going to be pairing that, hopefully, with getting that key code without dying in the run. So it'll be great to see if Slam is able to get both of those together.
Alright, and then on the bottom screen we have both Divers and Magic Garden. Maury, you want to talk about one and I'll take the other?
So yeah, Magic Garden, this is a fun arcade game, kind of like Snake with extra steps, where we are trying to pick up all of these red offies on the screen. And what we're trying to do here is twofold. We're trying to get a bunch of potions on the screen. You get a potion for every 6 offies we drop off at the start pad, as shown there. And we're also trying to defeat an enemy worth 5,000 points. Normally an enemy is worth only 10 points, but for every enemy you kill, it doubles in value. So it goes from, 10, 20, 30, etc. And we have to get that all the way to 5,000 to get this goal.
And then I guess before I explain Divers, are Cosmoing and Liz's streams working for y'all? Because it's looking... Okay, never mind, it's good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're looking fine. Yeah, they're
Cool.
They're good.
Alright, so Divers is the last game in the bottom left, and this is basically kind of just an old school RPG with the main gimmick that instead of typical overworld movement, you're a little lizard trying to dive as far as you can and explore the depths of the ocean. We're going to get pretty far into Divers, it looks like, because we have 2 goals for Divers, one with reach level 5 and collect an emblem, and one with win a fight against at least 1 mech. And both of these are going to probably require us to go pretty far into the second section here. One of the cool things about Spicy in general, and I kind of mentioned in the header, you get to see a lot more of the games than you would in just straight up bingo, where most of the goals are kind of designed to be done in about like 5 or so minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely closer to like 15.
The nice thing about these Divers goals is that they synergize pretty well with each other. You probably don't really want to be taking on a mech until you're about level 5. So this is a really great spot for Liz to be just grabbing some levels right now, working her way up.
Yeah, definitely.
And we also see Cosmoing in the third and final for the gold disc level in Belgris. So we'll see if we can climb the 30 floors remaining.
Oh no, we got stunned!
There's so many
about these game choices, the reason that these games were chosen by his players to start with is because Magic Garden has 2 goals on the card, Divers has 2 goals on the card, Vanger has 2 goals on the card, and Cosmoing tried to do Valgris because if you execute perfectly, it is a very, very quick goal, especially for Spicy. However, we are pivoting to Campanella 3, which has 3 entire goals on the card. Who would like to talk about Campanella 3?
It's like a... It's almost like a Space Harrier, kind of.
Space Harrier, yeah. Like it's like a
that.
third-person view. It's a bit of an auto-scroller, but completing the waves faster makes it move faster. And we're looking for 100%ing some waves. We want to complete the bonus game when we only have 1 star wave, because the bonus game is actually enhanced by getting 100% waves. So we just want 100%, and then we want to beat the bonus game for a goal. And then we also want to beat the entire game with at least 16 out of 20 star waves. A star wave can be 100%, but if you do an entire wave without killing anything, that will also be a star. So it's an auto scroller, but it can go faster, and we have 3 goals to pick up.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
really
and it
good
looks
triple.
like Cosmoing right now is going for winning the bonus game with only 1 star wave. So that's going to make the bonus game a lot harder.
Yeah, so I guess to explain that, since it'll be coming up soon, basically in Camp 3, you can either 100% waves or 0% waves. I think Cosmoing accidentally 100% a wave and has to restart here, which is kind of funny. But basically, in order to get a star wave, you either have to get a 0 or 100 exactly. And the more zeros or hundreds you get, the easier the bonus game becomes by just basically making the score threshold easier and easier to reach.
What's also interesting is that we have anti-synergy with these Campanella 3 goals because we want to beat the game with 16 out of the 20 levels to have stars in them. But in order to satisfy one of the goals, we have to specifically go 3 entire waves without getting stars. So I'll be curious if Cosmoing goes for all 3 at the same time. It's possible, but extremely hard. But Cosmoing is very skilled at this game, and they're the one to do it. And we do have a goal that was already checked off. Mora, do you want to talk about this Magic Iron goal that was just completed and why Spooty's still in the game?
Yeah, so we just finished the game with 10 gold potions on the screen, but we need those gold, we need to actually use those gold potions in order to build our skull multiplier up. Every potion you pick up increases your skull multiplier by ×1, so you can see a 2 times multiplier above the cat over there. We want that as high as possible, so we want to leave a load of more potions on the ground so we can defeat an enemy worth a lot of points.
Yeah.
Yes, and go ahead.
A common strategy for getting a lot of points here is once we get enough of these potions stacked up, we get a big chain of these red oppies behind us, and we drop them off outside of the star pad, which angers them and turns them into the blue oppies, at which point we can go collect a bunch of potions and then grab a ton of chained enemies together to build up the score really quickly.
Yes. And divers on over here, we have a pearl behind our player here. So Lizstar is picking up this pearl. It has a really powerful weapon in it, but you don't actually normally in gameplay know what's in a pearl. So we need to take it back home to actually get the contents. And this more powerful weapon, it's free. We don't have to purchase it. We just have to acquire the chest. And this is something that is kind of standard in a lot of RPGs and is represented in divers as well. And that is, we're going to be picking up some things. We're going to be grinding for experience, and we're eventually going to hit these goal targets. But divers, it's a safe game, but it's time consuming. And that's what we're seeing here with Vanger as well. Uncle Slam is the most skilled person in the entire community at Vanger. He's actually kind of famous for it, and he's doing what he knows, what he loves, and he will get that goal. It's just a matter of when. Go ahead.
You probably just saw on Cosmoing screen we were shooting at a bunch of those balloons. Cosmoing managed to get enough of those balloons to score more than 50 points. The tricky part there, the reason why the star waves affect that is the orange balloons are worth 3 points, where the red balloons are worth 1. So you only get a few orange balloons when it comes to doing that with 1 star wave, and that's why that's so impressive here that Cosmoing was able to get that so quickly.
Yeah, and very cool Alphazar's hat goal, by the way, that Cosmoing's working on now. I don't think I've seen this one before. As you can kind of see in the top left, Alphazar's hat is kind of like a Pocky and Rocky like character shooter. You won't get to see a ton of the mechanics here though, because we have to clear stage 1 deathless without dashing and only defeating the absolutely mandatory enemies, which there aren't really that many mandatory enemies that you have to kill, so very slowly dodging and just working our way through. I guess you can get power-ups still, but I don't think you can really get that without the...
Yeah, this goal is really tricky because a lot of this game's identity is behind the fact that you can shoot like this, and you can use your dodge to get iframes through every projectile that comes your way. So this is going to require some very precise positioning from Cosmoing.
Yes, and while Alphazar's hat is not a Souls-like, playing without your dodge roll in Alphazar's Hat, it does feel like playing Dark Souls without dodge rolling. It's a pain, and we're just walking by everything. Ice. If you fall in a pit, you die instantly, and that is the end of your attempt. We can't dash by these. We don't want a damage boost because healing in Alphazar's Hat is extremely difficult, especially when you're not. Oh, and that's a death. And that is it for Cosmoing. We have, on Spooty's side, we have Rail Heist. A big fan of the entire community. Sio, would you like to talk about Rail Heist and what we're trying to do here?
Yeah, I'd love to. So Rail Heist is a part platformer, part like almost turn-based platformer, I guess, where you are robbers and trying to rob a train and kill lawmen, and then the lawmen will take a turn to try to kill you, basically. We have a couple of different Rail Heist goals here. One with beat levels 7 to 11 with at least one lawman knocked off the train, and one with beat levels 9 to 16 while bringing a money crate intact. So a little bit of overlap, but it looks like we're probably going to be in Rail Heist for a while. Meanwhile, we have Pin Golf, which might go a little bit faster, so I guess if someone wants to explain that real quick, we can check in on Rail Heist in a little bit.
Yes, Pin Golf. Pin Golf has very quick levels. It's a side-scrolling golf game, and honestly, I prefer it more than normal golf. In Pin Golf, you know, you're trying to get better than par if you can. It plays a lot like miniature golf in theory, where you just have these small kind of obstacle course-like holes, and you have to get through them. In Pin Golf, you have a score total that is being compared to some opponents, and your score is going to go up and down depending on if you do better than par, or worse than par. And what we need to do is we need to have a score below 0 at the end of every hole, which means we need to, on average, complete all these holes below par, and we need to keep doing it below par. If ever we end up 0 or higher after any hole, we have failed the goal, and we need to do the entire game like this to achieve a cherry disc. The cherry disc being to have a negative score by the end. I think Cosmoing will be just fine doing this.
Yeah, we saw him warming up on arguably a harder Pin Golf goal earlier, so it's nice that he got the...
I know, we've just seen Uncle Slam in the top right take a death and danger, so he's not going to be able to get this, 0 deaths in the run goal, but is still going to be able to get all 4 modules. He now has the electricity mod. I believe this is the 3rd mod he's gotten in danger?
I think so, yes.
So key codes in danger are, you get 1 for completing every boss. So if Uncle Slime was able to complete even 1 boss before he took a death, we would have been okay, but unfortunately we were not able to achieve that. But Uncle Slam has all this progress, and he definitely still wants a goal. This is spicy at work. So he chose this knowing that he might not be able to get 2 goals in this, and he will be able to walk away with 1. It's just a matter of taking the time to get all of those modules and then defeating Wide Danger.
Another really cool thing about Danger that you're kind of seeing in effect here, with every one of these modules that you pick up, you basically have 3 different places that you can put each module. You can put it in your body slot, your gun slot, or your gravity slot, and each of them either affects your armor, how you shoot, or what happens when you flip. So you'll see every time Uncle Slam goes into one of these save pods and switches around some of those modules, that's because there's something else up ahead that he wants to do with those modules.
Oh yeah, it's very much a Metroidvania in that you need certain things to get certain places, but also the modules in a lot of ways can be used for personal preference based on, hey, do I want to deal extra damage? Do I want a spread shot? These things are needed to complete puzzles, but it's also what's the best tool for the job at any given moment. And we see Slam, of course, using the right modules at all the right times because he's that good at the game.
Yeah.
And that's another boss kill.
Absolutely tearing through that walker there with the triple flame shot. Nice little damage boost there too.
Cool.
Going back to Rail Heist in the bottom right, we are seeing a funny strat here. So Rail Heist is a little bit of a broken game. we are stacking some barrels. Oh no, I think we might be doing this honorably. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this looks pretty honorably.
We'll be just fine putting that down.
Yeah,
And it's okay
yeah,
about
here
the
we
crate
go.
level. The crate does not. The crate's just happy
Level
to be
5.
here.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna roll with a crate on our head. It's fine.
All right. And there's divers reach level 5 and collect an emblem. One thing that's kind of
Nice
cool
job.
about the 2v2 format specifically that we haven't touched on yet, you can kind of work with your partner to have one of you in the relatively fast but maybe harder goals, and one of you kind of just sitting in a game like working through it that has good like board synergy and stuff. We've all been part of a Spicy League this season, and I'm sure we can all attest to different times where the partnership definitely helps more than just having someone else on the game with you.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So in Divers, we did have a part earlier where we almost actually ran out of health on all 3 of our characters. Sio, what happens if we run out of health on all of our characters in Divers?
So basically, like you would maybe expect from an RPG game over, you lose everything since your last trip to the surface. I know Liz has been pretty cautious about doing stuff, but it looks like since we died on the way back, we still did reach level 5, so that goal was satisfied. But we actually are
We did
back
a
under.
reset.
Yeah. But now that since we reset, we are technically under level 5, but since the bingo goal was specifically to reach level 5, that's totally fine.
Yes. And we are back in Valgris. So Cosmoing did manage to complete that pin golf goal. As far as spicy goals go, it's a pretty easy goal. It's not an easy goal for just anyone to do, but Cosmoing's very, 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 very skilled at pin golf. And we are back in Valgris. I think Cosmoing felt that they needed, some time to just let out the frustration, because Valgris is a hard game no matter what. It's just a hard game to play casually. It's a hard game to speed run, and this goal makes it so much more impressive. So I want to see Cosmoing get this goal, and I want to see it this run.
Yeah, and Spooty doing a good job grabbing one of those real high goals.
Awesome.
2v2 Spicy is very neat in that all of the goals are really hard, but because you have 4 different players working on the board at the same time, it ends up actually being like a little bit more consistent feeling to get through games quickly, which is another reason why we wanted to try to submit it for GDQ this time around.
It also means we get to, this was another thing that was already touched on a little earlier, but we just get to see so much more of each of the individual games. You're probably never going to Divers level 5 in a regular bingo match.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not going to see all 4 modules in Vanger either. These are games that are what UFO 50 calls epic games. They actually save. There's some games that don't save your progress, and they're more arcade-like, like Magic Garden that we saw earlier, Pin Golf. These are games where it doesn't really save your progress. It'll save your high score, but it won't save your progress. But Vanger's a long Metroidvania, Divers is a long RPG.
Oh, Cosmoing. Unfortunate.
Oh, so close. And we have
Nice
wide
fight there from
Vanger here.
Spooty.
Yes, on Slam Screen. When we have all 4 modules, the DOS dies pretty quickly.
Oh, dies
Oh,
quickly,
but just-
but also White Vanger's an infamously difficult boss. We actually have a bug we use to make him just not fight us, just hold still, but Slam's not allowed to use that, but Slam is Uncle Slam, and he got that completion. Well done. That's a very time-consuming, challenging goal.
Yeah, very well done.
I'm curious to see if Slam's going to go back in to get the other goal as well.
Yeah, maybe it just needs a break for a sec. Camouflage is a really cute little game. Who wants to explain this one?
Blizzard.
Blizzard. In Camouflage, it's a puzzle game, and you have 2 abilities as a lizard. You can change your color to the same color as the ground you are under, and you can also see the predator's vision. And if a predator sees you when you are not the same color as the ground under you, they will come up to you and they will eat you. And if they can't reach you, a bird will eat you, because there's no escaping. There's no escaping death in Camouflage if you are seen by a predator. And it's one of the more relaxing games. It's a leisurely game, and we're here to gold disc with at least 5 levels with all 3 collectibles, levels 1 through 5 excluded. So we're just trying to get through these first levels, we're not collecting anything. The 3 collectibles are 2 oranges and 1 baby lizard. And the baby lizard will follow behind you when you pick them up, and they will change their color to the ground under them at the same time you do. So picking up the babies is more challenging because you also have to account for them, because if they're seen, you'll be eaten as well. So it's a knowledge check type of goal. It's a puzzly goal, but it's a nice way to kind of decompress after you spend a lot of time in danger.
Yeah. And something that's kind of nice about UFO 50 Bingo in general that I'm sure the other casters can agree on, these goals have been pretty heavily vetted to all pretty much take about the same amount of time, despite being like really different stuff in each game. And I think that's pretty cool with this game, having obviously 50 different like full-length games to choose from, that there's so much that you can do in each of them, and it's all so varied and different, and very cool to show off, I think.
Oh yes, as a community, we're always working together on goals, and bingo is one of the most popular things we do. It's not the only thing we do, but it's most popular, and we spend time to vet these goals. We pass them by the best players in each specific game. We have open voice calls where anyone can just kind of give their input. We have committees. We take bingo very seriously in this community, and it's a joy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So Liz finishing up in Divers and making her way into Campanella 3, which we saw earlier. Cosmoing did get one of the goals, but then left the other 2 on the board, so Liz looking pretty comfortable in Campanella 3. I know this is definitely one of her comfort games, so...
Absolutely. I have no doubt that she'll be at least getting the 9 waves 100%. The 16 out of 20 star waves is a little tricky, but at the point that you get the 9 waves, if you really want to, you can decide each wave whether you want to go 0 or 100 to make it easier.
And to give some perspective for our viewers, getting 100% in stage D or stage E within the last 8 waves of a run, getting 100% is extremely difficult. It is possible to 100% every wave, but it's very challenging. So we're probably going to see, as Campanella 3 goes on, Liz is eventually going to shift to a more passive approach where she's just trying to avoid dying.
Yeah, the 0% are definitely a lot more consistent for me, for sure, too.
And we're back to Alphazar's hat. So Alphazar's hat, once again, this is the decision-making process of bingo. Do you want to do a longer goal that's safer, like Vanger or Divers, or do you want to risk it on something really aggressive and difficult but quick, like Alphazar's hat and Velgrass? And we're seeing that Cosmoing is just hitting these difficult goals as hard as he can, and sometimes it's hard to execute, but Cosmoing, I believe in him. He's gonna get this.
Meanwhile, Spooty's still been kind of just plugging away at this rail heist to bring money crates back intact. This is challenging because it's an extra box on top of your head, so it means that you have to pass through a 3-tile gap instead of through the usual 2 tiles. And if you want to like roll through something, you need to give yourself a little bit of extra space because it makes you 2 tiles instead of 1 tile.
Yeah.
We're
Karma,
pretty late in the game right now.
Karma, would you call taking a money crate to escape with, would you call that an escort mission?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, I wouldn't...
One of the big things here is that if you throw a box against a wall, it does break. You can hold up while you're throwing a box to do kind of a higher arc that doesn't break the box, unless it like collides with an enemy or something similar.
Also, speaking of rail
we'll be
heist,
seeing a lot of care taken here.
Speaking of rail heist tech, do you want to explain what punch boosting is? Because we have seen a lot of it, and I don't think we've actually explained it yet.
Yeah, Mora, you want to take a shot at that?
So punch boosting is there was a bug in the game where if you punch in the air and then hold the opposite direction you're going, so in this case Spooty is going left, he jumps, punches, and holds right, it boosts you all the way to the left, and this can be used to gain a lot of speed. But again, as we see here, we can't punch boost while we are holding a money crate. So this is another thing, but it means you can go significantly faster than you're supposed to in this game.
Incredible juggle there from Spooty.
Yeah, we see here the whole...
Alphazar's hat! We got Alphazar's hat!
Nice.
Alphazar's hat.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
That's a hard goal. Love to see that. I was hoping to see that completed this match.
Yeah, we're only a half hour, not even a half hour in, and these players are flying through these goals.
All right, Bushido Ball. Bushido Ball is a 1-versus-1 sports game. Move the ball to the other side, get past the other enemy, get points, go team sports. We have to win the first match as 4 different characters, and enemies may not score more than 2 points in your victories. So it's first 8, and your opponent cannot score more than 2 points, otherwise you have to reset. But it's just the first match. You can get some progress and then make mistakes, and then just, you're fine. And the first match, your opponent always has, I wouldn't say bad AI, but less good AI than later. The AI in Bushido Ball is actually pretty mean as it goes on, but Cosmoing is a veteran. Cosmoing is just going to launch that ball past our opponent pretty much every time.
Yeah, and I think, didn't Cosmoing turn the speed up to hyper?
Yes.
Yes, we do have the option. Bushido Ball specifically has the option where you're allowed to make the speed go higher. We have normal speed, fast, and then we have hyper speed. And hyper speed means the ball's going to go faster. You're going to complete the goal faster if you're that confident in your game. And also, one of the opponents has a mechanic that actually breaks at hyper speed and makes them even easier to defeat. And we'll talk about that if they come up. And yes, for everyone watching, I am referring to Tomoe.
Speaking of
Tomoe.
Well, there you go. So Tomoe, every character in Bushido Ball has 2 special attacks. They have a projectile, and then they have a special slash. Tomoe's projectile is actually a grappling arm. And that grappling arm, it's supposed to grab the ball and let Tomoe launch it pretty fast. But Tomoe's arm doesn't actually grab the ball properly in hyper mode usually. So if you throw a decent hit past Tomoe and then she tries to launch that grapple, it's just gonna miss.
So I'm very excited. We finally get to see Mooncat on this board, and Mooncat is probably one of the most unique games, not even just in UFO 50, but just that I've played before. It looks like a pretty standard platformer, but if you look up the controls in game, it literally just tells you every button moves. And when you play this game, you're probably just going to move back and forth between the same 2 tiles for like 5 minutes. And it turns out, not to spoil too much, but this is basically a 2-button platformer where you have what the community has decided to call a moon button and a cat button. And in any combination of the moon button and cat button, you're good to do stuff and move around.
Seal, what is a mooncat?
You might guess I don't have one.
He's
He's a little guy.
Have tried very hard to know what a mooncat is. I have personally asked the developers what a mooncat is, and they're just like, nah, we're not telling you. Nobody knows what a mooncat is. Just enjoy the vibes, enjoy the esoteric landscapes, and trust me, if you're to play one game in UFO 50, this is a great choice because it's an experience.
Yeah. There's something absolutely beautiful about the, wait, left moves left, right moves left. What is going on here experience of Mooncat. But the best part about Mooncat is that, like, as you actually kind of get used to, like, all of the movement options you have, it's surprisingly deep.
It's a very deep
You have a lot
platformer,
of
for sure.
Really fancy movement tech that you can do.
Yeah, and we're going to get to see a lot of Mooncat, actually, because we have find the green egg without dying before the boss, and find 2 of 3 eggs, and visit 28 different rooms. So, does anyone want to explain what the eggs are in Mooncat? Because I feel like that's a whole discussion.
So, eggs. In Mooncat, there are 3 possible endings, and each ending has an associated egg. And in the story of Mooncat is extremely esoteric. It's extremely difficult to understand, but the eggs are part of the story, and you're going to get some text along with an egg, but depending on the route that you take, you're going to see a different egg. And you may have already noticed that we're just finding random portals in the middle of the air, hidden in places, and we're going off the top of the screen, but there is a warp up there that we don't necessarily need to take. And by going for these eggs, we have to take different routes, different warps. And Uncle Slam was going for the green egg, which we want the green egg without dying before the boss. And dying in Mooncat's actually pretty easy, despite it being a very easy to control game. That's sarcasm, of course.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we're
it
trying
is
again.
it is a generous
Liz,
game.
by the way,
Oh, nice, good job, Liz.
getting the
Ooh.
9th star wave there.
How
Very
many
nice.
non-hundreds have we had so far?
I think we
Not
might be
sure.
at all star waves. I think we have every star wave
'Cause
up to this point.
I
so
saw
far.
that we missed one in stage A, but I think that was it.
Oh. Okay.
Yes, I'll be curious to see if Liz starts switching to 0% strats soon.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: you don't see these bonus stages if you don't get any star waves. But because we need star waves, we have to do the bonus stages, and we do want continues from them for safety. But functionally, this is a time loss. So this goal has built-in time loss.
It is a time loss, but I think especially since the very hard is specifically to beat with star waves, if you end up having kind of a rough stage D or E, you can just die and reset. And I don't know if we've actually explained that yet, but basically in Campanella 3 in the bottom left, you can see that Liz has 5 continues right now, and 5 little guys over her head. If she takes damage 3 times, she'll go back to the start of stage D and basically be at this uncompleted for each of these waves thing. So if
Spooty.
Liz... Oh, good job.
Spooty!
Very nice. And that was a very casual Valgrisk Gold Disc, too. I don't even think we got to mention that Spooty was in that before he finished it.
Spooty's a smooth operator. One of the best speedrunners in the community.
Yeah, I think this showcase definitely grabs some of the best talent that we have in the bingo community, too. Ooh. First time in Star Wasper.
Mora.
Yeah,
Mora, do you want to talk about Star Wasper and all of its glory?
Yeah, so Star Whisper is a shmup, and it's notorious in the UFO 50 community for arguably being the hardest game to beat in the entire collection. So, what's wrong with this game? Or why is this game so hard? Well, there's bullets. A lot of them.
True.
Many.
And spelling.
Yes, and spelling. So the gimmick of this game is that your power-ups are made by spelling words with these E's and G's that fall off the screen. You can make a word with E, G, 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 or a few others. So we see this UFO on the screen. And the goal of this game is to get to the end unscathed, but that is a big accomplishment.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have to beat the game with 2 different ships, with the gray and red ship. So you not only have to beat the hardest game in the collection, you got to do it twice.
Yep.
Not in a row, thankfully, but you do want to preferably do it in a row because then you didn't die, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of my favorite games in the collection, Spooty's in Warp Tank. Spooty and Warp Tank is one of the best pairings in UFO 50. If you haven't seen Spooty run Warp Tank, he is absolutely incredible at it. Basically, the gimmick of this game is you're a tank, and you can warp to wherever your tank is pointing. And we're a little slime guy right now because Spooty has entered what we call a terminal code, which I don't think we've actually gotten to explain yet. Does anyone want to explain what terminal codes are?
Yes,
Sure.
terminal codes. Terminal codes are the way by which we can modify games. There's all sorts of terminal codes. Some games have many terminal codes, and the terminal codes do all sorts of different things. There's level selects, there's hidden modes, there's make the game harder, make the game easier, there's Easter eggs, there's a meta-narrative involving murder, and also UFO stuff. We have all of these things with terminal codes. Karma. Something we haven't really talked about is what information do our players have access to, and what information do our players specifically not have access to?
So, if you're playing in this 2v2 spicy, you can look at your teammate's screen. You have communication with your teammate. You see the bingo board. but you do not see anything your opponents are doing. The only thing you can see are the squares they've marked. So both Liz and Spooty, for example, do not know that Cosmoing is in Star Wasper right now. So if either of them were in Star Wasper, there's a chance that Cosmoing would be doing what we call a snipe and clearing the game before either of them. So it's kind of convenient that at this time everybody has been in completely different games up to this point, but as the board closes in on reaching that 13-point goal for majority, we're much more likely to be running into the same games and having some races here.
Yeah.
Oh yes, absolutely. And with regards to draft bingo, so this is a draft format, so our players specifically chose games that they themselves were good at to add to the mix. And all of our players know each other very well. They know what games their teammates are good at, they know what games they're good at, and they know what games their opponents are good at. So we have Uncle Slam here, best in the world at Vanger by a country mile. No one else is loading up Vanger when Uncle Slam's in the game. Like
Yeah.
I'm not racing Uncle Slam and Vanger. Are you kidding me? I'm afraid. Spooty's another one where it's like, okay, what games is Spooty? What is Spooty not playing right now? These are things that Cosmoing and Uncle Slam are asking themselves, because you don't want to enter a game that someone might already be in, because that means that, you know, they have an advantage. They've been in there already. But also, you need to choose a square. You need to choose a game. So we're as Karma said, as the game goes on, as the match goes on, we're going to be more likely to be in the same game, and it's going to be very aggressive when these races happen.
I'd also just like to point out that here on Slam's side, we've made it to the boss without dying. There was some really careful maneuvering in the ruins there. We did take a death on the boss, but that's okay. We only need to get to the boss without dying.
Yes, and this is a hard boss. The Mooncat has 2 really hard bosses and 1 really easy boss. We might see the easy one after this, and we have gotten one of the eggs that is a gold disc, which is, you know, that's fine. It was filled with slime and miasma.
Whoa!
So we've actually gotten a couple of gold discs, but I don't think we've actually explained what a gold disc is. So in UFO 50, for those that don't know, basically there's a couple of different ways that you can have like levels of completion for a game. When you haven't touched a game at all, it's what we call a dusted game, where it just is all like cobwebby and kind of gross and stuff. When you dust off a game and just start to play it normally but haven't beaten it yet, you get a blue cartridge. When you do what's basically any percent for most games, you'll get what's called a gold disc. So right now we see trying to gold disc Star Wasper will mean that we have to basically just get through the game at all. There's also an additional level above that called cherry discs, which I don't think we're actually going to see on this board at all. But basically those will be like full 100% completions of games, or beating games deathless or whatever. So UFO 50 is really cool because there's a bunch of different stuff that you can do with every single game. The bingo community is very, very energetic, and oh no, unfortunate. That was a tough wave for.
Here on Slam's side, we're going to be trying to pause in Vanger at just the right moment. If you pause on the same frame that the enemies are supposed to load in on this room, you can actually despawn them, as well as these red gates that are blocking the way. It is a very precise, it is frame perfect, and here we go, we can see it. This room is so much faster to navigate. Even though it took a few tries to get that set up, it was worth it.
Yeah, you'll see what it looks like when we exit the room here, how much stuff is actually supposed to be in here too.
I think Mora would be pretty qualified to talk about what Cosmoing's in here.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Big Bell Race.
So, Cosmoing has just opened Big Bell Race, which is part of the Campanella trilogy, I suppose, where you have our person. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Immediately flipping out of there.
Big Bell Race was on the screen.
Instead,
Well,
we have
maybe
Attack,
not.
which I can also explain. So, Attack. we will probably be saying Big Bell Race later. The Tactics is a game, a grid-based game where we are trying to get our red units to the opposing base before the blue units get to our base. And we see this by the flags. Every time you get a unit to the other base, they lose a flag, and if they're at 0 flags, you win, as we see here.
And while we're working on that, we are in the final boss of Campanella 3, and I believe we have 16 waves.
Oh, yeah. Queen Zoo.
Yeah, we'll see in the credits section. Good job, Liz, getting up to here.
I believe this is the first of 2 phases, because, like all final boss fights, it's never the end. And we see here,
This isn't even my final form.
My final form looks the exact same, though. It's fine.
Yeah. The gimmick here with this final boss is that you can't actually damage Queen Zoo here until your sister Isabel here comes and shows up to help you fight. And then it's just kind of a waiting game here. Her health will kind of go down pretty quickly over time here at this point.
Ooh, we are down to the final hit, though. We got to be careful here.
Final hit. We don't. Yeah, if we lose one more life in Campanella 3, we have to start the entire stage over, which means all 4 of
Very nice.
those waves. And we have gotten that completion. We just need to see the 16 out of 20 star waves, and then we should be good. Do we even need to see it, actually? Because
I'm pretty sure I counted that it was 15, and I was behind.
Confirmation screen up here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that is a very challenging goal.
While Liz is finishing that up, I guess we didn't even really mention what coffees are for this goal that Spooty's working on. So, Warp Tank is one of the games in the collection that has hidden collectibles that sort of reveal themselves to you after you've beaten the game the first time. The collectibles are still there, even on your first playthrough of the level. But basically, after you beat the game, you start to have flowers appear all around the world to try to point out these hidden power-ups called coffees. And once you get a coffee, you have to beat the level from there. Getting the coffee and completing the level in Slim Tank in Guide Sector is going to, quite frankly, be ridiculous. We were talking about...
It's the hardest level in the game.
Yeah, and this level, we haven't really mentioned Slim Tank very much, the terminal code that Spooty went into. But this lets you have a level select, but the problem with the level select is it doesn't let you use the checkpoints that are in the level, which normally is just for safety strats. But in Guide Sector specifically, towards the end of the level, there's a really mean cycle that you normally death warp on, like, every single time you get there. So Spooty's gonna have to probably take some pretty nasty movement through the end of this level to be able to show it off.
Ooh.
Slam
took a death.
And I think we are having our first race of the event with Lizstar.
Yeah, Vanger. So Lizstar is functionally in this goal faster. So Lizstar is ahead. However, as I've pointed out, like, Uncle Slam's very good at Vanger. Liz is the favorite to get this. She does know Vanger. It's all about execution at this point. And we're gonna see Vanger completed. I think one of these players is gonna get it, because this goal is hard. Not dying in Vanger is difficult because it is an entire life system. You refill all of your lives whenever you go to a hub. You're supposed to lose lives in Vanger. So asking our players to complete even a single major boss with no deaths is so hard, but we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it, and we're gonna see who comes up with the victory. Anyone can get this.
One thing I'd like to point out here, we're seeing Liz do the heat mod room normally here. This is how much you're skipping with the skip that we're about to see once again here on Slam's screen, most likely. This room is huge.
This skip is called Peony Skip. It is named after a member of the community, Keeny Peeny, who discovered it. It's a second form of this glitch. There was another form where the camera doesn't scroll up. That was called Keeny Skip. So we have Keeny Skip, now we have Peony Skip. Because of our large community and the large amount of games, there are so many different speedrun strats, glitches, you name it, named after various members of our community. Like, we even have skips that aren't skips that are named after community members. We just name things.
Yep. Meanwhile,
like,
Spooty did get
Spooty
did get through Guide Sector, and I'm shouting that out because Deathless Guide Sector with the coffee is a very not friendly route, and
it's so hard.
One thing I also want to call out about Slim Tank here, Slim Tank is the level select code, but the weird thing about it is there are no checkpoints when you're using Slim Tank. If you roll over a checkpoint, you still get sent back to the level select screen on death. So the fact that Spooty was able to nail Guide Sector like that is phenomenal.
Oh yes.
Oh wow,
yes.
We're neck and neck in Vanger
Wow,
right
this
now.
is so close.
Yeah, this is interesting because like Uncle Slam is going to be faster in Vanger, but Uncle Slam has failed this goal twice already. So even with the experience and skill that he
I mean,
has,
look at
it's
this.
very
They are
possible
neck
to
and
miss.
neck.
Are we?
We're
are we
about to
all-
see Verde's
Third
skip
skip.
here.
All right, Karma.
Third.
So, with this skip, what you're doing is you're taking a hit at the same time you're passing through spikes so that you have iframes.
Ooh,
Slam is
safe
doing a
version.
slightly modified version where you go halfway through the spikes and then take a hit there. Liz, we'll see if she's able to get like the double spikes here or if she's gonna also do the slightly safer version.
To do the full double clip, it's
There it is.
almost pretty
That's not too
perfect.
bad,
That's
yeah.
impressive.
Very
That's an
nice.
extremely hard glitch to get. Most people die trying to get that at least once. Liz got it first try. Amazing.
And it looks like Liz is going to go back to the start of the sector to set a checkpoint. Liz is playing this very safely, which will be a big advantage if Slam takes another death here. So there's a couple of options we can do for a key code as well. We can either go left and fight Ramses, which is going to be a more difficult fight, or we can continue down below and fight Wyvanger again, but this time with the exploit.
I think we're going to see Ramses. Ramses is a very hard fight, especially to
seeing
do
Ramses.
deathless. Yep, Uncle
Nice.
Slime's doing Ramses. So Ramses' weak point will shift between the four edges of his body at various intervals, and you just need to be there to shoot it. Right now, Ramses is being a jerk. Ramses is not being very nice to Uncle Slam. I can hear him just scoffing at what's happening here.
Also,
This
on
is
that
Taking a lot
note,
of damage there and resetting to not die.
for the GDQ submission, worth mentioning that we have started using face cams this season, and player reactions have been amazing. So if this does get on stage, I imagine we'll get to see some pretty fun reactions from the players live.
Yeah.
Uncle Slam himself is a fountain of memes. He is great. GDQ's seen Uncle Slam before. He's an amazing showman. We've been enjoying it too. And Ramses coming down. Ramses' health in the top right, 250. We're getting close.
We're at 40 HP, so it's not going to take much for us to die. Slam's going to need to play really carefully here while still getting these hits in.
Shout out to these flies that do 20 damage.
Liz is coming up to Wyvanger too.
Yeah. We just need to go down to the bottom here and to the right. And the thing is, once Liz gets to where she's going, all she has to do is just...
Oh, unfortunate.
Liz can get it though. Liz can get it.
Wait, Liz, you don't need to get the multi-mod.
This is going.
You don't
this
need
is
to.
going-
Is this?
this
Okay,
is
we're
the
going for
force
the
mod.
multi-mod.
This is the wrong way.
Yeah, this is
Force
the...
mod.
Yeah.
So
Wait.
this kind of goes back into Vanger's a large game. It's easy to get turned
Uh-oh.
around.
My bad. It's multis and latum, right?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Okay.
All right, getting through there.
Oh, wait, I guess... Okay,
And that...
I think I see what Liz is doing. She's getting a checkpoint so that she can reset closer to Wyvanger.
That's a good idea. We do have a head-to-head in
So-
tactics.
And unfortunately for Spooty doesn't know that Cosmoing is in a tactics, and actually Spooty's the one who chose for tactics to be on the card. Red wins. So I think Spooty doesn't expect that anyone would be contesting this, but Cosmoing, you just need to get a gold disc. And a tactics has like 24 levels in it to do gold disc. It's a long game. Cosmoing's pretty good at tactics too. Not as good as Spooty, I think, but Cosmoing's going to get this. Cosmoing's still very good at tactics, and is probably going to knock it out of the park here.
Yeah.
One thing that's really good for bingo, as you might imagine, is speedrun consistency and stuff, but we are seeing a pivot
Ooh,
here that might
nice.
end up not being great.
Oh.
So,
Cosmoing's making progress.
yeah, banking progress. So one of the interesting things about bingo strategy, and I guess we'll talk about it with the banking progress, you're not committed to stay in a goal once you've started that goal. So what we're seeing here is Cosmoing getting most of the way through a Tactics gold disc, and then kind of hedging his bets here and going for a different goal. More, I believe you were trying to explain Big Bell Race last time we were here. You want to take it here since we're looking to be in here for a little bit longer?
Yes, we shall do that. Hopefully Cosmoing doesn't immediately put out a Big Bell Race again. But yes, Big Bell Race is a game where you race around the track like this, and we are currently playing as the red ship, trying to go past. And the thing with this objective is that we have to kill an enemy every lap. So these enemies, every ship has 3 HP. And we have these power-ups like this bomb, which is going to blow some stuff up. But this makes it significantly harder to win the race, because we have to spend all this time killing enemies when we could be instead going towards the finish line.
Oh, yes. Talking about bingo strategy for a moment. So we do have that Lizstar and Spooty, they do have a majority, 11-7, but also Spooty and Lizstar have a potential bingo going diagonal. Now, since there is no bingo left on the board for Uncle Slam and Cosmoing, a bingo would be fine, but 13 points when your opponents can no longer bingo, that's majority that will also win it, which means that Uncle Slam and Cosmoing can't actually win even if they get a majority unless they take a tactics or combat ants in that diagonal. So
we are playing this for specifically majority, bingos not counting.
Got it. Okay.
But in a normal
Yeah.
game, that would be correct, yes.
Normally in a bingo match.
Yeah.
Yes.
And while we're in Mooncat again for Uncle Slam, we are seeing completely different levels and routes, so kind of just showing off the 2 of 3 eggs goal here. We are going to see the second boss. This boss is significantly easier than the first one. Shoutouts to the button lock here.
Nui.
Yeah. We like the bunny. We like bouncing on bunny's head. Bounce, bunny, bounce.
If you don't,
when the spoon comes in.
if you don't do the stun lock, by the way, bunny boss is actually very hard. It's got a mean jump shot.
Oh no, we didn't flip.
Oh, all right. I mean,
all right, we're fighting legit.
Wyvanger's a very hard boss.
Yeah, Liz is gonna be playing this really defensively. It looks like.
Now, one thing, we could reset game here to try to skip again, because resetting game resets all your progress but does not count as dying, and we saw her use that to great effect a few times. Regain all of our HP.
It looks like Liz is just...
Yeah, we're down to 400.
Wyvanger,
Let's
this
go.
is a hard fight. This is a very hard fight.
Making really good use of the long-range shot from the Force mod.
Oh yeah, and every shot, by the way, is 5 health off of Wyvanger. So like at 200 health, we're looking at 40 hits, is it? Like we have 40 hits to go.
Down to the final 200 HP.
Oh, and yeah,
look at all these energy waves being sent out.
Wyvanger does get harder as the fight goes on. Same with all their boss Wyvanger, you know, turning red second.
Very
half.
nice.
That's it.
Wow.
That's
Fantastic.
a goal. Wow, that was impressive.
Great work, Liz. That's
very nice. So now, if Spooty claims this tactics goal, that's going to be game. Liz, of course, still wants to push a goal to hopefully get ahead of that. Spooty doing a tactics. Now, tactics does save progress. So if you lose, you can just retry the scenario. If Cosmoing gets this gold, Spooty's progress is basically, you know, Spooty got sniped, Spooty doesn't get any progress, and the game continues on, but Spooty really wants that gold, now more than ever. And Liz is doing combat ants. CO, talk about some fighting ants for us, please.
Yeah, so this is the real-time strategy game of the collection. UFO 50, as you can tell, has a really, really wide range of games available, and this one is the only one where you actually have to like manage units and try to take out the opposing ants. One of the things that you'll hear pretty often about this game, though, is this game is exceptionally hard. The ants in this game are kind of designed to be much more powerful than you. So as we're starting to work through these levels, you're going to see a couple of kind of interesting cheese strats to either lock these guys onto walls or kind of just take advantage of their tracking here. If you return one of these green pellets back to the start, the ants will spawn more ants. So most of the time, the level strats for this are going to be to just try to rush and cut off the opposing army before they have a chance to do anything. And we will be seeing 10 full levels of combat ants, so we are here for the long haul on this one.
Mm-hmm. There are some pretty quick levels that we can do, but we will have to dip into some of the longer ones.
Oh yeah, especially since we are not able to use a terminal code to choose levels for his gold. Sometimes you can use a terminal code ants, which is the level select code for combat ants, but we can't. There are some splits where you can choose which level you go to next, but you just can't dodge the slow levels. But no one's contesting combat ants, so even if Spooty doesn't get this goal, if Liz just keeps up the pace she's going, that's a nice backup, and that's a guaranteed win for them. But combat ants can be scary. It's a challenging game.
Casting question, should we have players just keep going after 13's reached and just see if we can get a quick blackout?
What's our timer at?
We're at 56 minutes right now.
I think we should keep going.
Okay. So if/when teal team marks off a 13th square, if one of y'all just wants to let him know to keep going in chat, because I have to keep everything up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we can black this out in time.
And I'll unmute them also, so that if like anyone's like, "Hey, yeah, we're done," I could be like, "Get back in there, get back in there."
I don't know if y'all saw a couple of weeks ago, but Spooty was actually casting a match. I forget who was in it, but both the players wished each other GG, and Spooty just hopped into the chat saying no, because the final square didn't actually get marked off, so it's just like GG, no.
We lost Uncle Slam.
Okay.
Well, Uncle Slam's back. Everything's cool.
Okay, let me add him back onto here.
It's possible that Uncle Slam accidentally left UFO 50. I have done that before too, because you're leaving games and entering games so quickly. It's easy when you're in a game to just leave the game and go back to library, and hopefully that doesn't happen too often. It is a rare occurrence. Party House, Mora, I love Party House. We all love Party House. What can you tell us about Party House?
Yes, Party House. Yes, Party House is the deck builder of UFO 50. Now, what's the deck builder doing in UFO 50? Well, it's a collection of 50 different games, and you get all sorts of different stuff here. In Party House, the goal is to fill up your party house, as you might say, with guests, but not before you get a free wild buddy with an X on them. And if free wild buddies show up, the cops will show up to your house and bust your party. So we want to get as many guests and with as good values as possible without busting our party.
And the objective of each scenario is to get 4 of these star guests in our party. And those star guests tend to cost quite a bit here. As you can see, we have the mermaids that cost 35 and the ghosts that cost 45. So we need to get a lot of popularity to get up to the point where we can add those to our Rolodex. And then money is the other resource, and that expands our house, which lets us invite more guests and, kind of propels the popularity forward.
Yeah.
UFO 50 is a game where it's imagining a fictional universe where this LX system was made in the 80s by a fictional dev team. And so all these games, they follow sensibilities of the 80s. So we have Rolodexes here. But also, it only takes $5 to expand your house. What was the economy like in the 80s that lets you do that?
The dollar went a lot farther, I guess. We did just see a tactics gift from Spooty. Do we know how far in Cosmoing is? Because his menu has been
Cosmoing is
fast.
quite a lead, I believe. I think Cosmoing is on level 17-ish. Don't want to say. Yeah, level 19 now.
19,
so yeah.
Traffic jam.
Yeah.
And there are 26 levels. Or wait, is it 26 or 24?
I think it's 24.
Yeah, 24.
Yes.
So
Tactics is an interesting game because our players want to menu as fast as they can because they're in a bingo match. But unfortunately for us, it's a blink and you'll miss it when we're trying to look at because we're gonna hopefully see where Spooty's at after this match. But blink and it's gone. Blink and it's gone.
Yeah.
Yep, so every time you see fast forward appear on either player's screen, that's because there is a button that makes the game go faster, as if it wasn't hard enough. Because it ain't really got time to wait for all the animations to finish.
Yeah, UFO 50 is great, and you'll actually see that in Party House most likely too, where you can just mash super fast. This game is exceptionally speedrun friendly for pretty much any game that the players could have picked for draft. We're seeing a pretty good blend of some of like the puzzly games and some of the action games with this draft. But either way, no matter what with draft, the way the board works out, both for this one and for the Frost Fatale submission that we did for this, we end up getting a pretty decent amount of time also to sit in some of these games. And if we needed to push for donations or anything, like for example, this would be a pretty good time as players are just kind of grinding through the goals now.
No donations. Yeah. More tactics, I say. More tactics. And we are going into yet another Commentators level. So this level is, I think this is when a lot of players see for the first time that the game is more than just one screen. Because you can kind of see in the bottom right that there's a place to go. There's some rocks in the bottom left. The entire level scrolls down. It's not enough to defeat the queen you're facing. You have to defeat every enemy queen if there's more than one, and every red ant. They must all fall. No one left.
Yeah, the scroll down here is a pretty sobering realization for a lot of first players. I remember...
This is the completely reasonable level. Oh no.
Yeah, you're like, oh dear God.
It's an extremely hard game.
And you can kind of even see down here, with the red ants, like they are working even if they're off screen. So even if you just take your time up here, you may end up finding an army of like 20 guys down here.
Yeah. It's really hard to stop that before you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you can't stop it before you get there, but like, it's really hard to stop it in a reasonable amount of time because it just happens so quickly.
Oh, yes. Talking a little more about Party House and this goal for a moment, this is a very hard goal for Spicy. So it's not enough that it's spicy, it's also very hard. Uncle Slam has to beat 3 random scenarios in a row. There are set scenarios with set chosen pre-arranged guests for Party House, but we're choosing the random scenario function, which is available from the get-go, and we got to beat 3 of these scenarios in a row, and we can only choose one of the 2 kinds of star guests to recruit for each of those. Party House can give you easy seeds, but there's also some seeds, some randomness, where it makes the game oppressively hard. Uncle Slam has reached well over 100 wins in a row in the random scenario. He's equipped to succeed in this.
This is a pretty tough one, though.
Possibly the hardest level of the tactics in the game. You only get archers and bombers, and in return, the enemy gets these ninjas, which like to shoot your bombers and have them blow everything up, as I think we might be about to see here.
I think Spooty likes to call this like the worst level, just because from a speedrunning perspective, you're at the mercy of the game. There's some things you can do as speedrunner. You've been seeing a lot of just lining up our units, then just pushing them through. Each of the units does have different features, but the units that you're given in the level that Cosmoing in are just... At this point, I would just take the loss. Cosmoing had the right idea. We didn't even, it was faster to reset than menu back in than to wait for the you lose screen, which is a brilliant move that only someone of Cosmoing's level of play would know. So once again, very well done on Cosmoing's side to recognize that. And we are building our choo-choo.
Yeah, this is how we beat this level. We need to get... So if an enemy kills another enemy unit in a tactics, it gets promoted and does 2 damage. As we can see, these archers now firing 2 bullets on our screen. That is pivotal when you're playing a tactics at a high level. No, that ninja.
So while all of that's been going on, Uncle Slam's seed in Party House is really rough. The trouble mitigation in this is spies and magicians once he gets stars, but I don't know if he actually has any star units right now, and that's terrifying.
You usually want to have at least your first star unit by 10 days left. You get 25 days. When you have 10 days left, you want to have at least 1 star unit, because if you don't really have a lot of time to get those, and star units are expensive, and then you have to make sure your house is large enough to have them. Then you have to be lucky enough to get them. Uncle Slam is in a very scary position now, and my eyes are on that screen.
Yeah, and I think we kind of touched on what trouble is in this game, but for those that don't know, basically the units with an X above their number will cause trouble, and typically trouble units are offset by being like pretty high popularity and or money units. The deck automatically starts with 4, and in most good scenarios of Party House, you have a way to either cancel that trouble out or boot stuff from the deck if there is trouble. The only way we can mitigate, I don't blame him. The only way we could have mitigated it there was with the spies, who have the ability to basically scry and let you see what's coming in. But here we can see the cute dogs, personally my favorite unit. If you see a unit with the white flag, it'll basically negate out one of the X's and make it so you can pull more stuff into the party. So this one should be much more straightforward.
So talking about the danger of bingo, the challenge with some of these goals, there's a reason that we took so long to get to Party House. Any progress that Uncle Slam had in this Party House goal at the time that he had to reset, at the time he lost, was eliminated. He is starting from scratch, and any time he spent previously is down the drain. So we really didn't want to do this Party House goal until late in the game. We are late in the game, and that's why you're seeing it now.
And then I guess for the submission, just as a heads up, like we mentioned, we typically play to majority, which looks like it's basically going to be happening whenever Liz is able to get this combat ants goal, barring an incredible snipe here from Spooty. We did tell the players to just keep going for now, since our typical match timer is about an hour and 45 minutes. But if we were to get into a submission and we needed to cut that time by a little bit, as you can tell, these players go pretty quickly to fill out most of a board anyway, so we could be pretty flexible with that.
So in Combat Ants, this stage right here, this stage, I believe this is the one called Surprise. This is one where a lot of players, when they get to this, they decide they don't want to play Combat Ants anymore. It's extremely sided against you. Not only is there food in the middle, it's slightly closer to the Red Ant Queen, and then they get their own food. This is where a lot of players discover that the way you have to play Combat Ants to win is not as obvious as when you first boot up the game, because yes, it is an RTS, you are building an army, but you have to play very cleverly in order to beat it. And Lizstar just got it. Lizstar got it. We just need to go up to the queen and beat her up until we beat the level.
Also, I think Spooty is only one level behind in tactics now, so this race has caught up.
Incredible catch up.
War is bad.
So this will, okay, we got a reset.
From Cosmoing. The final battle is where Cosmoing is, by the way. So there's a mechanic that you don't see for most of the campaign and tactics, and it is the hero. If you promote 5 units, the game gives you a hero who has a ton of health, moves twice as fast as most units, has ranged attack, is pre-promoted, so he deals double damage. Hero's very good, and that's basically the requirement to beat this. Unless you just choo-choo through, which it looks like Cosmoing is doing. I mean, choo-choo.
Oh, I think we've got it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
We got it. So
no, we don't.
Oh no,
ninja.
that's unfortunate.
Oh no.
Normally a speed strat for getting through a tactics is to just put units in a line.
Oh no, he left the gap.
But there are ninjas and sappers that can appear on certain scenarios, and a ninja will attack above and below them. And a sapper, when it explodes, it also kills units above and below it. So even if you have a choo-choo that makes it to the end, a ninja can spawn and then just kill your unit. And it's not as simple as they auto-kill, because, you know, units have more than one health.
Spooty's caught up.
We are both on the final level.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is anyone's gold. And talking about snipes for a moment, I don't want to get sniped on a tactics when I'm on the final battle.
Yeah.
Like,
we got to train.
Is
this it? Is this it?
Is something that actually feel would be huge.
We're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think this is going to be a huge snipe for Cosmoing.
So
Wow.
Spooty, unfortunately, this means that Spooty played through the entirety of its tactics and has nothing to offer. We've been watching Spooty
Wow.
for about, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
good for Cosmo. Cosmo did go in there first. Cosmo played smart. Cosmo did all the right things, and Cosmo came out with the goal because of it. But in an actual GDQ setting, that would be a huge, memorable moment.
Yep.
I'd be screaming out of my chair.
Yeah,
in the
me
too.
audience.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I just,
ridiculous.
it hurts.
And
Mora.
we incredibly have all 4 players doing 4 different squares. The only remaining square.
This
Yeah,
is so
number one. You notice
interesting.
you're not doing the same square as your teammate. Mora, what makes this big ball race goal so hard? Why has this been around so long? It's just 2 races.
Well, it's 2 races, but you have to kill like an enemy every lap. That is 8 enemies in total because there are 8 laps, and these enemies, well, they're very random, and sometimes they will die like that, but sometimes they won't. And when you have to do it in every lap and still win, you have to have a lot of things go right and a lot of skill involved.
There are power-ups in the big bell race. Mora, what power-ups are we actually looking for?
We're looking for. I think we're looking for basically every power up except the bomb helps us directly kill enemies. So we've got it'll be more obvious when they show up. We've got the big slappy, the thing that makes your so we see Cosmoing trying to slap other discs, not discs, campanellas, but it makes our slap very powerful. We have the mine flare, which damages everyone behind us, and then we have our flamethrower. I don't think they have official names, but that's what they're called now.
Well, I happen to have my UFO 50 companion right here on my desk, and in the UFO 50 companion, it's a physical copy of the game in terms of like a guide, by the way. I'm going to go to the big bell race section. It does actually tell us the name of all of the big bell race power-ups. So we have the plus shot. That's a shot that goes in every cardinal direction, every interval. We have the pickle bomb, which is where you drop the dots behind you that hurt enemies. We have the fire shield, which is that spinny shield that just rotates around you like Kid Icarus. We have the psycho slash. Now, what we refer to affectionately as a slap is actually a slash, and the psycho slash is a big slash that pushes enemies far away. And we have the Mega Bomb, which is ironically the power-up we don't want to see. It's a bomb that follows behind you like a ball and chain and explodes, leaving behind fire. It's not very effective for killing.
I think chat preferred Big Slappy.
Yeah.
I'm still going to call it slapping.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We have a Star Wasper race.
Well,
Now,
Spooty
keep in
versus
mind-
Cosmoing once again.
Cosmoing did tragically take a death in the 4th stage. So there's technically 5 stages in Star Wasper, but the 5th stage is just a boss. We'll talk about that when we see it. CEO, I think you know what I'm preparing for us to show off there.
Yeah.
I know our players are going to show a Star Wasper mechanic that is kind of infamous. I'd say it's infamous at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so. And we are getting an interesting head-to-head in Star Wasper showing off both of the different ships here, which is pretty cool. Red ship is typically your more offensive ship in this game. It's the only one that allows you to collect bombs, and the options that have up to the side are really, really high damage and also home in. And green ship is kind of more like a defensive option, I would say. Your options just are these little like planets that orbit around you, as well as ones that home in here. But your shots are a little bit weaker with the exchange of having a little bit more focused of a spread. And right now, Spooty is in Wave 3 of Star Wasper. I'm pretty sure everyone on this call and everyone who's played this game can confirm this wave is the hardest thing in UFO 50. There's a lot going on.
UFO 50 is a project made with love from 6 amazing developers. Except for Wave 3 and Star Wasper, that level was made with hate.
Yeah. And to explain exactly why this wave is so hard, first, the red guys that keep spawning in front of Spooty here have a really complicated, like, triple fire that you kind of see right there, where they have a fast, medium, and slow bullet that all follow you. We have 2 of the previous stages bosses as just regular guys that show up in this stage. And most devastatingly here, these purple asteroids that appear randomly in the stage are interactable. So if you crash into them, you just die. And this is one of the few stages where the background actually like impacts the foreground. I'm sure pretty much everyone on this call had the same experience of getting into Wave 3 and then immediately dying to one of the purple asteroids. And
It's so easy to die there.
I think one of the hardest things about Wave 3 is that it's so long, too.
Yeah.
It's long, and if you have to keep the screen clear, like any enemies that spawn, you need to kill them immediately, because if they're allowed to stick around for even 2 seconds longer than you want them to, it just builds up and it's unmanageable.
Ooh, we're going
Spooty is through Wave 3, though.
Yeah.
And Cosmoing is reaching Wave 3, so looking pretty good for Spooty. Just need to kind of keep a level head here and work his way through the gauntlet of Stage 4. Stage 4 is, like, generally considered to be easier, but it is still very easy to take a death here, so it's really important for Spooty to keep his focus up here.
Yeah, even the easiest thing in Star Wasper is probably harder than most of the hard things in UFO 50, and UFO 50 is not an easy game by any means, so...
Star Wasper was one of my last cherries. The goal for the game is to just beat it, and if you can beat Star Wasper, pat yourself on the back. It's a hard game.
Yep.
The cherry requires a score, it requires like a target score, and
yeah,
so...
my first clear was 297k, and then it took me like 15 hours to beat it again after that, so...
Oh, jeez, yeah.
That's a very common story.
Yeah.
Ooh, Karma, do you want to talk about the level that Lizstar is currently on in Commentators?
This isn't it, is it? No, it's not.
No,
No.
this is not. This is it, thankfully. But this is a very complex, open-ended level for sure.
Yeah, so we've got several queens spread out through this level. So a lot of this level is going to come down to like routing and figuring out which queens are going to be the big threats in terms of all of the ants that generate. We're going to go ahead and skip out of that one. It is one of the more annoying levels to do. Open field here, however, there is kind of a speed strat. We just have, well, as it literally says in the title, an open field here. There is a spider roaming around in the top right corner, and I don't think we've mentioned spiders yet. They're a neutral, large enemy that, like, will just gobble up any ant that it comes across. It's there's 2 things you can do here. You can either lead the ants around and get them trapped on the wall, or you can lead them up towards the spider.
Sorry to interrupt, but we are on Wave 5 of Star Wasper, and we just saw the end of Star Wasper. So the wonderful thing about Star Wasper is if you have enough lives and you have 1 extra life at the end of the game, you can just kamikaze into the boss, and the boss will just instantly blow up. You can actually do that on every stage, but it's most helpful on Stage 5 because that fight is very, very long otherwise, so...
It's terrible. I actually don't remember how to fight the boss normally. I just know have 1 life going in, have 1 life going in, have 1 life going in.
And we are
it's
on...
not, like, too terrible of a fight, but it's still long enough that it's just way easier if you just don't.
Speaking of who doesn't have 1 life going in, if we see Cosmoing at the top...
Oh.
does not have this.
So we may end up seeing that fight legitimately.
So Star Wasper, much like any other arcade game, does have a life system, and you can gain lives with score, but Star Wasper, how you gain score is a little different. So we've been spelling GGG, EEE, and GEE, but also there is, as you might imagine, egg, EGG. That increases your score multiplier every time you acquire it, and there's no limit on it. You could go up to 50 times, and you really want to because you get a lot of points when you do that. And unfortunately, Cosmoing's kind of past the point where he can get a lot of points. We had some birds that were coming from the sides of the screen in Stage 4. For some reason, those birds give a ridiculous amount of points, and if you can get them with a high multiplier, it's comical how many points you get. But Cosmoing you have to fight the final boss honestly, unless he can squeeze out 1 more life.
Is the extra life at 200k?
I think the next one's at 200k, which means he's not going to get it.
Oh, we're gonna be just short here, huh?
All right, time to see. The
Oh
final
no,
versus
what
Snow
94K?
operation. We
Okay.
don't want to fight it. I'm sorry, Cosmoing. You're the one to do it, though. You're the one to do it.
Yeah, so we get to see
do
Wave
have a
5
bomb
legit.
ready, which will erase projectiles, which is nice. We're gonna throw it right away for the damage, though, which makes sense. But yeah, we can see here, it's just like, it's the triple shot from those enemies from level 3. It's kind of annoying. It's already getting pretty low, thanks to the extra power we had coming in here in that bomb that we shot.
We do have ads, though, and the ads are dropping letters for us. So the drones that you get from GGG, they will die when they take enough damage, and we really want them. They're a massive damage
There we
source.
go.
No,
Very
that was
nice.
easy. What are we afraid of? So that is going to be our first gold disc. Cosmoing will have to complete this again with the gray ship in order to do this. But Spooty does have a significant time advantage on this goal. So if Spooty walks in, he's got it.
Speaking of locking in, we are about
Oh.
halfway through scenario 3 of Party House here. We're in another situation where we don't have any of the flag units to try to cancel out trouble, but we do at least have the ability to kick stuff out of the deck if we need to. I think we are currently running into a little bit of an issue where we've committed to the higher cost star unit though. So we need some very big parties, and it's kind of scary to do that when you only can kick stuff out. I think we're
Yeah.
okay, but definitely a little scary here.
You know, I do feel kind of silly telling the players that we're continuing to blackout because we still don't have majority. This is still a live match without a victor, and it's unlikely considering it's 9-12, but it's very possible for Uncle Slam and Cosmoing to get this. If
Yeah.
Spooty takes a death, Cosmoing can just take that goal. All of Spooty's progress will be erased again,
Yeah.
just like a tactics. But Lizstar is just playing Combat Ants and completing it very effectively. You know, 10 levels is a long time. And hey, there's a spider.
Hey, it's our buddy.
Yeah, I love using the spider as a tool against the red ants.
Yeah. We are going to want to do something about that red ant on the right, and I think we're going to be taking some damage here with her. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, so
It
it's
does
worth
take the
noting
spider
that
some time to kill.
there are only 12 levels in Combat Ants, so we are basically doing the entire game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the entire game's a cherry disc. Just beating the final stage is a gold disc. It
Do
does
we
not
have to
require
beat the
any
final
others.
stage? I'm not actually sure about the progression.
Nope,
We
just
might have
10
to
levels.
beat. Right, but do we? I think
I-
some levels are locked behind this. Is it?
I know at least one level is locked behind this, is it? I don't know if 2 are.
Commando 2.
Yeah.
So, I do want to point out something that we're not seeing. So, there is a secret level in Combat Ants that is tied to the meta narrative. It is called Namuro's Way, and it is hidden in the wall at the southern end of the map. It's a hard level, but it's also faster than some of the others. Lizstar could go there to complete Namuro's Way. She might not be thinking about it, though.
There's the slam party house.
Very
Well done,
nice.
Uncle Slam. That's a hard, risky goal,
Yeah.
and we are doing Big Bell Race. It is 10-12. Awesome. And we are back to this stage on the Lizstar side. This is a hard stage. This one in particular took me quite a while to complete casually.
Yeah. It's a tricky one. It's so wide open. There's so many different things that can happen here. Liz is grabbing all 3 of the ants near the queen, though. We're gonna be trying to cheese them a little bit and also lead some of them back to our own ants. Just kind of slow them down as much as we can, stop them from getting that lower right clump there.
Unfortunately for Cosmoing, Spooty is looking real good. Spooty has 3 bombs in tow with the red ship, 3 lives, halfway through the 4th stage. I'm sorry to say, I think Spooty might be claiming this victory right here.
Absolutely locked in on this right now.
Yeah.
And then Liz is going to be not too far behind with the 10th level in Combat Ants.
This Big Bell Race goal, like, the more I look at it, the more I think, like, wow, that's an unpleasant goal.
Yeah.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
It's so short, but it's so painful.
I
And
feel
by
like
the way,
that.
these walls that Spooty's doing, the weak spot is random where it shows up, and you need to stop firing to move fast enough to reach the next weak spot sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like Big Bell Race in general was one of those games that, with the goals that we've created for it, is significantly harder than just like the base game itself. And here we are seeing Spooty with enough lives to just be able to damage boost in here, so pretty much a perfect execution of this goal from Spooty, honestly.
Well, yeah, just back-to-back 2 victories, and that's hard to do. Again, I can't emphasize enough, like, Star Whisper is a hard game. I'm not going to beat it my first try.
And that is going to be majority.
That is majority. So that would be our official end of the match if, you know, we were on the big stage, if we were actually hosting a real spicy bingo match. But, well, there's only 2 goals left, so we have 1 person in each team that's in Big Bell Race, 1 that's in Commentators. I'm sorry, Cosmoing, but Lizstar does have a bit of a lead in completing this one.
And it looks like this looks like this should be the clear here for Liz.
Is this level 10 right here?
Looks like it should be 10. I think this is 10, yeah.
Are we going to have a 4-way Big Bell Race goal at the end? That's so good.
Big Bell Race. So it's what we just had a Big Bell Race tournament.
Yeah.
Let's all make an agreement. If we see Big Bell Race for 4 players be so difficult we can't complain it, we got to tell Matt, we got to tell the rest of the bingo community, like, hey, y'all, we just saw this happen in our GDQ submission. We got to change this.
Yeah.
This will be our test.
This will be the ultimate test.
So someone in chat actually mentioned this earlier, but speaking of our submission, for the Frost Fatale submission, we were able to add on spicy goals to our regular draft game. For this one, I don't think we can necessarily do that because we're already at spicy. So there's a chance that we could potentially have a couple of like content games, I guess, if you want to call them that.
Oh, okay, fair.
Where we potentially have games like Big Bell Race get added on, or something like Quibble Race even, maybe, where players are just going to have to kind of throw their hands up and hope for the best here. We haven't necessarily discussed what we're doing for incentives, but I imagine there's something we can do, so did just want to throw it out there.
Nice look.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I was thinking...
So for GDQ, for Frame Fatales, we did include spicy goals, and there's a donation incentive, and I like to think it was a roaring success. We do have 1 level of difficulty higher than spicy, and it's called Nozzle. It's named after an ultra-hard super boss in one of the games, and those goals are oppressively difficult. I want to make it happen. I want to have Nozzle goals at GDQ.
For reference, when we do a community Nozlo, it is like a group raid board almost, where we're all working on the board together. We have gotten to the point where when we get a session going, we can normally block out a board for that or come close within a couple of hours. But all of those goals are like the absolute hardest things that we could have possibly done at UFO 50. So
these events are usually like 20 people, maybe even more than 20 people in one call, where everyone's just doing goals, and we've had to make them harder because our community keeps getting better at UFO 50, and things that were really difficult like a year or so ago just aren't that bad anymore for us. And some of these goals would actually be totally fine in a GDQ format. There's no easy Nozzle goal, obviously, but there's approachable Nozzle goals. Let's say that.
Get a world record live on GDQ. That is an Oslo Square. Get a speedrun world record in a game.
Yeah, our center square Nozzle is get a world record during the Nozzle match, and we actually have people who have almost gotten that square. Like, actually, that could be a perfect incentive to add that as a middle square. Get a world record live at GDQ. That would be amazing. Yeah,
the one general goal that we have.
And for perspective, for the GDQ community, we have 50 games. We have gold discs and we have cherry discs for each game, and we also have other challenge runs. We have well over 100 different categories for UFO 50. So, you know, there's world records out there. Our community's amazing, and they're hard to obtain at this point because we keep driving the times down. But they are out there, and there are world records we can get and improve on.
So I think for the purposes of the submission, we would probably have about an hour and a half submission because it looks like that's about the end of a majority game. We'll play this one out for our typical 1 hour 45. But just well, and also what I think I'm gonna do.
We either won't draft Big Bell Race, or we will specifically filter that goal
Yeah.
out.
I think.
Wait, Uncle Slam, weren't you the one who drafted Big Bell Race?
Yeah, I did not realize that goal existed.
You should have had to do it, because it's your fault it's there.
I tried. You saw me, I tried.
So as a heads up to the racers, before we get into this stuff, I think what I'm gonna do is I'll just edit the ending at 1:30, and then we can just cut basically to here. So the submission video will still be the hour 30 mark, where you basically hit majority right then. Because I think the last.
Good.
Yeah, because I think the last 15 minutes, everyone was just kind of struggling in combat ends and stuff.
Yeah.
Which,
We didn't realize how
We're
bad
just
the
gonna
COD
put
was.
15 minutes of the first race in Big Bell Race.
It's really funny that that everyone else was in combatants. I have second place on the combatants leaderboard. I could have done that goal. Okay.
I was so
That was
close.
pretty good.
How do you so well the time into it?
I was at 9 out of 10 after 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Did either of you
Maru's
do...
way, Liz. The Maru's way.
I was gonna ask if either of you did
I
Maru's way.
mentioned it.
That was the last one I finished.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Maru's way.
Liz,
Yeah,
you
the
didn't
Maru's
do
way
the
was
Maru's
11.
way.
What is that?
It's the same level.
It's a secret level, and it's just the first level again, but the enemy starts with like 3 soldiers.
Liz, go back to combat. Go back to combat ants, Liz. Go back.
I'm going to more.
I will guide you to the Maru's way.
If I had thought of that, I would have mentioned it to you.
Yeah, I was on that.
Go left.
Left, okay.
And then you're gonna go down at the cran. You're gonna go down at the cran. And you're gonna keep going down. Okay, you see where that rock is on the left? If you were to like go straight left after these rocks. So go south.
Yeah, just hold southwest from here. Just hold southwest from here.
Go into the wall. Go into the wall.
What the fuck is this? Fuck you, Namuru. You
Oh, cut that out. Cut that out.
We're in
We didn't say that.
So we didn't say that.
Wait, we get one. We get one.
We can edit it.
This is
we can
supposed to
edit
be
it from here.
harder.
Thank you, Liz. I'll
Maru's
get
way
right on
is
that.
harder than the normal way, you know.
But it's still first blood, so it's still easy.
Yeah.
It's still easy.
Yeah,
It's
I
actually
got it,
still way easier than doing like either of the last 2 levels.
And it's a
okay,
one-screen level, so it's fast, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about the match for a moment, I want to talk about Cosmoing and Spooty. So, Spooty, do you want to tell Cosmoing how far into a tactics you were when Cosmoing checked out?
I'm so happy. I had a feeling.
I think I had like 2 flags left on the final battle.
Oh my lord! And I reset that so many times to get the freaking-
Yeah.
And then
to get the battering ram.
Cosmoing, do you want to talk about your time in Star Wasper for Spooty?
No. You know what? How does anybody play that with anything but the yellow ship is beyond me. It's genuinely
the yellow
harder.
ship is garbage. I hate the yellow
I
ship.
swear to God, the red ship is harder. The red ship is harder, and the yellow ship is also harder. No, sorry, the gray ship. The gray ship. Slam can testify to this. I said in the middle of my gray ship playthrough, I was like 1.5 playthroughs into Star Wasp here when you marked it.
Yeah.
I said with the gray ship, this is harder because I have shields and I don't know what to dodge.
Yep.
I ran.
That is an exact quote.
You just dodge everything. There's not that many bullets. It's just dodge. Just dodge, man.
Yeah, but then it's confusing me because bullets just disappear and I don't know what to do. Just give me the yellow ship and then I dodge everything. It's fine.
Also, I actually do want to point out, this is actually the most important thing because this is why we're here. You 4 gave us a GDQ
Yeah.
worthy
Yeah, that was
performance.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
We tried our best. We were struggling so hard on this team.
I just
This
want to
is
go.
the submission video.
I just want to go on record, by the way, and say I promise I'm good at Vange.
I can't believe I got that. I'm not good at Danger.
I just.
Slam failed that 4 times.
Best in the world at Danger, and then you die twice.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I think. How many attempts did I give that? Like 4, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
Because I was initially gonna, combine the 2 goals. Because like, okay, if I defeat, Y Vanger, like that late in, it's like, okay, then I can just mark them both at once. went into Ramses. Like, I got all the way to Ramses on, I think, my last run, and the freaking mosquitoes got me. Like, I was handling Ramses fine. It's the mosquitoes. Jeez.
I went and I don't remember what it's called, but I did the Verde skip. I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and do the Verde skip, see if I can get it first try, and I did, and then I was like, all right. And I got that guy who's behind it. I don't remember his name.
Ramses?
Ramses.
No,
Oh,
not
wait,
Ramses.
no. Wyvanger.
Oh, is
the
that
other one.
Wyvanger? Okay, yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, I think you're allowed to do the exploit for that goal specifically, just not the other one. So you just did, like, the full legit
Yeah,
fight.
you gave them a show. That was a great Wyvanger. It's serious.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was
I don't
great.
know the exploit.
Just
Oh,
when
wait,
you
oh,
go
it's
in
right,
the
It's
room.
literally you just flip
Yeah.
as you go into the room, and if you don't get too close to the ceiling, the boss never activates, and you just shoot him while he stands there.
Oh
Your
my God.
your way was way
because
cooler though.
The trigger is landing on the floor, or at least getting low enough that it does. So you can just go in, flip, stand on the ceiling, and shoot down, and she dies within like
That's
20 seconds.
nonsense. All right, man, this game's great.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like we weren't communicating a whole lot like midway going through goals. I kind of assumed that she'd gone and done Ramses.
Nope.
Okay. So, in the interest of
Too bad
time,
Wyvanger is
Exploitless.
much safer, so...
Yeah.
Exploitless Wyvanger is yeah, that's a
I have
That's an
practiced it a lot
accomplishment.
to try to be good
yeah, it was
because
it
I
was
didn't
very
know
fun.
there was an exploit.
What were you gonna say, Co?
Oh, I was just saying, in the interest of time, I might have to stop the stream and record and get the last
Yep.
couple minutes of that edited out.
Yeah.
But feel free to
So,
stick
yeah.
on the call and stuff. But I guess for stream and recordings purposes, we will basically call the match at an hour 30 and not the hour 48 that's currently on the stream right now. Because that was what we were planning on doing. We ended up pushing the recording a little bit further to see if the players could get a blackout, but the lost goals were kind of mean. So our submission's just going to be the hour 30 and going to majority. And if the game ends with spaces unmarked on the board, then it ends with spaces unmarked on the board. But as we saw, both teams are very consistent and very good, so should be a very good time either way. Do any of y'all have anything else you wanted to add in before I click stop?
Play forever.
That was fun.
Play forever.
Yeah,
Play forever. UFO 360.
true.
No, not the Red Ring of Death.
Okay, let me see. The recording is done, and we have a match going on right now, so let's just go ahead and raid over there.
All right. Well,
Uh,
thank you,
and
everyone. That was perfect.
Yes,
That was
thank you.
actually perfect.
That was a
Should we all
blast.
stay in the call so we can figure out like what the
Yeah.
submission text is gonna be?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Also,
I'll be right back, but
Oh, 1 second, Cosmoing, were we also gonna submit a 1v1? Because if so, we can just use one of our like league matches as a submission video at this point. I'd say. Yeah,
yeah,
up to
sure.
you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The more the merrier.
yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
Over
go
here,
for
might
it.
as well.
Cool.
Why not?
Alright, we're gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and have stream raid over to Ace. Digiholic vs. Manatsuki is happening right now, and looks like it's only a half hour in. Go show some love. We're gonna button up the submission and get it in before the deadline in like an hour and a half. So have a good night, everyone. Peace out, and we will see you later for some more UFO 50 stuff. Bye bye.
But